Hello friends, for today's video I'm going to do the mid-year book tag and I'm just going to jump right into it. The first question is the best book that you've read so far this year. And I know it's kind of silly to say Way of Kings, but I love Way of Kings, so Way of Kings. But I promise a lot of the rest of these are not just going to be books that are already favorites of mine. The second question is the best sequel that you've read so far this year. Engines of Chaos. I was so happy that Engines of Chaos was so good because I have hyped up Engines of Empire a lot, which is a release from last year. Engines of Chaos came out this year. I'm upset that the third one doesn't exist yet. I can't wait for when it is released because the end of Engines of Chaos, so much happens, and I also feel like that's one of those series where you have no idea the direction that it's going to go in, because it's just so out there. For all of these, I will have videos where I talk about the books more in depth in the description bar down below in case you're interested in actually hearing more thoughts about them. But Engines of Empire is, I always kind of say it's like a hybrid of Game of Thrones and Final Fantasy XII. There are aspects of it that are somewhat steampunk, so the Final Fantasy XII comparison is more so related to that, and the fact that there's airships and the magic and technology, the way they are combined, reminds me a little of Final Fantasy XII. But the way that you're looking at the family dynamics and the familial drama and the fact the Hawksburg Guild is a notable family within the society. They play a role in the power dynamics, they play a role in the economy and all that sort of thing. And the way that the twists and turns and the world itself in a lot of ways, the way all of that is done is where I get the Game of Thrones comparison. So Engines of Empire, it's really good, and Engines of Chaos was, I think, even better. It was very good. I was so happy. Question number 3. New release you haven't read yet but want to. A lot. I'm going to go ahead and say Tyranny of Faith. I had every intention of picking this one up. I had it scheduled a very specific week, and that specific week I got COVID. And I had a bad fever for a while, and one of my lovely symptoms was dizziness, which was not great when it came to reading. And it also sucked for trying to listen to audiobooks, because when you're dizzy, having things right in your ears, I don't know, I'm very sensitive. So then I didn't pick up Tyranny of Faith then, and I haven't picked it up since. I have like this negative association with it now because of the fact that I was supposed to read it when I was sick. I just need to get to it though, because it's a sequel I've been really excited for. Next question, most anticipated release for the second half of the year. I think Threads of Power. I, for some reason, keep kind of forgetting it comes out this year, but it comes out this year, and we've been getting hints that we were going to get more in this world by V.E. Schwab. It's been a while since I've read V.E. Schwab. That's not true. I read Gallant. That wasn't that long ago. It's been a while since I've read an adult work by V.E. Schwab, so I'm excited to see what she does returning to this world. It's something I know that she's had in the works pretty much since she wrote the original trilogy. Question 5 is biggest disappointment. I got a message, sorry. Question number 5 is the biggest disappointment. So I think Sanderson's Secret Project 2, mostly because I usually like Sanderson's works and I didn't love that one. But then also I really liked Secret Project 1, and so Secret Project 2 was kind of a letdown in multiple ways. I also didn't love Stardust in Their Veins, which was a sequel to Castles in Their Bones. I thought it was kind of a little bit dull. But her other trilogy I've read, I didn't love the second one as much as the rest of the trilogy, so I'm hoping it's just a middle book syndrome type of thing. And then books 2 and 3 of Valdemar, they just never were as good as the first book of that of the Arrows trilogy, specifically Valdemar is the World. So I was a little bummed that I didn't love those as much as the first one, just because I loved the first one so much. Question 6, the biggest surprise. So I think Last Tale of the Flower Bride really took me by surprise because I, on paper, should not have liked that book. I don't usually like artsy writing styles. I don't usually like things that are more abstract. And that one had a mix of those things. And also, I wouldn't say that it's particularly character or plot driven. I'd say it's a lot more thematic. And sometimes I like thematic stories, but I usually want to like my characters too. And I don't think I came away from being like, oh wow, I just love the characters in that book. I didn't, but I still really liked Flower Bride. Godkiller, just because I feel like it came out of nowhere. I can't believe it's a debut because it was so good. The Crane Husband, I often don't usually like books that are that short. In fact, that might be considered a novella, but I really enjoyed it. Enjoy is not really the right word because it's kind of like a giant metaphor or it's just showing you domestic abuse basically. But I thought it was really good. So I would say those ones. After that, we have a favorite new author, Jessica George, who wrote Maame, which is a contemporary story, but it's very much about taking care of a loved one who is ill, and also a lot of the emotions that go along with that, the emotions of when you lose loved ones, so the grieving process, trying to move on with your life. You might be able to guess why that was very impactful to me. I thought she depicted all of that really well. By the way, my notes are over there. You probably figured that out at this point. Hannah Kaner, who is the author of Godkiller, because I'm like, I can't believe that was a debut. It was so good. And so I'm now excited for anything else that she puts out. And then Kelly Barnhill, who wrote The Crane Husband. I know that she has other works, and I plan to pick them up because I really quite liked The Crane Husband. After that, we have newest fictional crush. Well, I still love Kaladin. It's funny, I did this video for my other channel, full meta analysis, and I was like, I rewatched Arcane, so Vi, I guess, and then Lloyd Forger from Spy Family. But I still love Kaladin. I liked the main character in Godkiller a lot, to be honest. She was really cool. But can I just say Steve West's voice? He's the narrator for Strange the Dreamer, but he also narrated the Last Tale of the Flower Bride. That man's voice. I have a crush on that. Anyway, after that, newest favorite character. You know, it's interesting. I don't think I really have a character that stood out to me. I'm not going to keep saying characters and things from Way of Kings. But I really like Children of Ragnarok. I like the way that Cindy Williams-Chima writes characters, so I enjoyed following those characters quite a bit. They're kind of what makes me care about the story, because I care about them. And then Engines of Chaos has some pretty great characters. I'm trying not to repeat the same answers too much, but Engines of Chaos, it's not that I love any of the characters, it's just that I am very intrigued by everything that happens in that series. I don't think I would be devastated if any of them died. Yeah, no. Well, I can't say anything else. The end of the book, I was like, did that just happen, or are you just leading me astray? And if it did happen, I'm upset. And I would, well, yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Engines of Chaos, the characters are compelling. But I don't think I have a character that I've come across that I'm like, oh, I love them so much with my whole heart. After that, a book that made you cry. Maame. I didn't cry, but I don't cry when I read. But I very easily could have if I just let myself feel my emotions. And Valdemar, the first book. There's a friendship between the main character and an old man, and I loved it so much. A book that made me happy. Tress of the Emerald Sea. I think that's going to be an answer for a lot of people this year. And then City of Nightmares. I know I'm pretty alone. I feel like nobody else found that as funny and charming and eccentric and weird as I did, but I had such a good time finding it, and it made me chuckle a lot. After that, we have favorite adaptation. I watched Howl's Moving Castle for the first time, so I'm kind of just saying the same answers I said over on my other channels when I did this for that channel, but Howl's Moving Castle I thought was very weird. I've never read the book. I've heard that they're not that similar. It's more of the themes and the feel of it, but it was so odd, but I really liked it. So I'm going to say Howl's Moving Castle. After that, favorite video that you've done, because when I was looking at these questions, I found this on someone's blog, and so it was your favorite post that you've done this year, and so I'm tweaking that to be favorite video. I really liked the scene analysis I did for a part in Arcane, which that is over on the side channel, so it's kind of odd to say one of my favorite videos isn't even on this channel, but I really enjoyed doing that, and it's part of why I've enjoyed doing that other channel, just to continue to have that creative motivation, I guess. And so I had a lot of fun with that. I got to do different things than what I typically get to do here. And then I had a lot of fun with my Fourth Wing video. I can't believe it ended up being an hour long. It was really fun to make. Anyway, next question. The most beautiful book that you've bought. I think the Illumicrate edition of Song of Silver Flame Like Night, it's naked hardback, is beautiful. And it's really cool. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous book. They really did a good job on that one. And it was a regular subscription book. It wasn't even one of the ones that is made available to everyone and separate from the subscription. And then the last question, what do you really need to read by the end of the year? Or what's on your TBR? And I continuously try to pick up new releases. I think all of you know that. But I would say the only ones I really, really, really feel I need to get around to are the books for the Sanderson read-along, because I am doing live shows and other such things. So I want to obviously make sure I continue to read those. But anyway, that's it for the mid-year book tag. I would love to know your answers to these questions. And like I said before, any videos where I give more in-depth thoughts to the books that I mentioned, I'll have those linked. But anyway, thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you later. Bye.